It's Thursday, February 5th. Let's see what's going on. Now, I know these Epstein files and Andrew and Fergie. Listen, I'm going to say one thing. Here's what happened. I actually made a whole video the other day about Andrew's participation in the whole Epstein file stuff. When I was finished making the video, I just didn't like how I was feeling. I was feeling very heavy. It was a lot of bad energy. And I thought, no, it's not a fit. It's not going on the channel. It's not something I want to talk about. I'm going to give you some commentary on what I think. First of all, with Andrew, he's finally moved his arse out of his forest lodge or whatever it was called that he was living in at the grace and favor of the king, his brother. He's been stripped of the title since last fall. He was called pig-headed in the Daily Mail this week because that's what he is. Riding his horses around Windsor and waving at cars driving by, clippity-clopping by journalists. The guy's an idiot. Read the room. Read a paper. After this weekend's treasure trove of stuff that has come out, he's packed his bags and left. But where's he gone? Sandringham. He's gone to a place on the Sandringham estate. How is this any kind of punishment? Unless he's in a barrel of Malmsey wine. He needs to be investigated. I don't want to rehash everything that I've seen. And my advice to people is we have to have a balance between being informed and really doom scrolling and drowning ourselves in all of this heavy, demonic, evil, gross, sickening things that are coming out of this massive cache of files that's been released. Not even all of it. I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty of it. I want to stay informed, but I also want to protect my mental health, my spirit, my heart, my soul, all of it. My space, my peace, my energy. So I'm not going to take a deep dive into that on this channel. Am I going to talk about Andrew? I am. So he's packed his bags and finally left. He's gone to Sandringham to stay there. There is reports that he is considering a move to the Middle East. I think he should actually stay put and stay out of the limelight. Get your ugly mug out of the papers. Stop waving at journalists and onlookers and people driving by. Pig-headed is a kind word for him. Sarah Ferguson is basically homeless. She stuck by the wrong man. And she participated in a relationship with the vile Epstein. And not only that, what the hell is she thinking? What the hell is she thinking? What is her problem? I can only hope that Beatrice and Eugenie are better mothers than she is. The man is in prison for sexual assault and crimes of that nature against minors. He's a pedophile. He gets out of prison and Sarah brings her daughters to be in his presence. What is she thinking? Always thought she was just kind of authentic and fun and always just trying to do her best and trying to navigate a very public life. But she's terrible. She's vile. There's no coming back from this. We all kind of connected with her because she wasn't perfect. She was flawed. But this is beyond the pale. She's not getting past this. You're done, Sarah. It's over. So now she's homeless. I was watching Dan Wooten this morning when I got up just to see what he's got to say, as one does. As one does. And he was talking to the beautiful P. Dinah. They were discussing a few things to do with the royal family, but it did come up that Sarah is now hiding out on Richard Branson's private island, Necker Island. He's been implicated in all of this as well. He's been implicated in that whole circle with Epstein, and I didn't get into his involvement with it. But it was crushing to hear that because I've always admired him so much. He seemed to be so in love with his wife. His wife has just passed away. He was devastated. But the way he runs his company and how good he is to his employees and workforce, I just always admired him. So to hear that he might be implicated in any of this ugly, evil activity, I think there's a lot of people we admire that are going to crumble and fall. And it's going to be tough. But nothing compared to victims. And some of the stuff that I had the misfortune to read is demonic. It seems like it's conspiracy theory stuff, like all the whispers that have been coming out, Pizzagate and all that stuff. It's so horrific that we can't believe it. And I think that's what people bank on. It's so horrific you can't believe it. But how much of it does it have to be in our face? This has to be blown wide open. I'm not going to get into all the gory details because I just can't carry it and I just don't want to. Sarah Ferguson, it's done. Find your about as popular as the lady I just did another video on of history, Margaret of Anjou, who went back to her country in disgrace and lived in pretty much poverty for the rest of her life. I think that's where you are, Sarah. I don't know who's going to give you an endorsement. I don't know who's going to give you a partnership or business opportunity at this point. It's over. You may have to get a job at like a call center or something. And unfortunately, I was reading in the paper The Daily Mail today, Richard Eden, royal expert journalist, he says it's over for Beatrice and Eugenie as well. They're tainted by association. They've been in contact in person with Epstein, yes, with the assistance of their stupid, awful mother, but it's over. So any hope of them becoming full-time royals, I don't think they were ever going to. They're not. They won't be. They're out. They're out. They're not useful. They both have lovely husbands and lovely families now. That's great. Live your lives. In the video that I did the other day that I'm not going to end up posting because it was too much, I was talking about how when King Charles, formerly when he was the Prince of Wales still, and it was being talked about that he wanted a slim down monarchy. But of course, as that conversation was evolving, he was assuming that he had William and Catherine, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, and Harry and Meghan as the team. However, we know what happened with Harry and Meghan. They're not playing. So now we're left with the Prince and Princess of Wales, King Charles and Queen Camilla, and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. So here's my problem solver. And I don't know why this hasn't been discussed before, unless the parties just really said no. But Zara Tindall, we have to bring her in. She's intelligent, good family life, good head on her shoulders, athletic, smart, and very stylish. I think she'd be an excellent asset to the team. Give her a title. Give Zara Tindall a title. Put her to work. I love if I had a charity to have her as a patron. Lady Louise. Hello. Where's Lady Louise? The loveliest English rose of all the Queen's grandchildren. Lovely girl. Intelligent, modest, a sense of humility, just sweet, smart, pretty. She's an adult. She's in university. Give her a proper title. Put her to work. I get Anne vibes from her. I think she'd be a great asset. Again, Zara, Lady Louise. Let's go. We've got beauty and brains and style waiting in the wings out here. Bring them in. Add them to the payroll, whatever it is that you call it. Bring them in. And then we won't have to worry about this. Yes, we want a slim down monarchy, but we don't want a skeletal monarchy. And here's what's happening. Because a couple of weeks ago, there's appears to be a rift between King Charles and Prince William. And this is for how the king is handling all this pummeling that the Windsor family, the institution, is getting from these clowns, side players in the family. Namely Harry, and to a much, much, much worse extent, Andrew. Andrew's downright criminal element at this point. Although I did see on Dan Moulton this morning that somebody in Harry's camp actually sent death threats to one of the witnesses in that court case he was doing as he's suing the Daily Mail over privacy issues. So that's alarming. Are you kidding me? The guy was scared to testify. You'll have to go check that out. It's not just members of the British royal family that's being exposed in these files as they're released. The Norwegian royal family also is facing one of the most scandalous things they've ever had to deal with. Norway has a royal family. The wife of the future king in the Norwegian royal family has been outed as being in contact with Jeffrey Epstein, calling him sweetheart. And she has since apologized. All these people mentioned, they have to be investigated. Just because an email doesn't implicate you in anything nefarious. Although, I'm just going to read this. This is from the Daily Mail. While it was known that Crown Princess Mette Marit, 52, had corresponded with Epstein, the intimacy of the emails that were released this weekend, the new emails, blows apart any suggestion that the pair were only mere associates with the late pedophile referring to her as twisted and not your typical royal. She, in turn, is seen to be referring to the disgraced financier as sweetheart. This is not how you talk to business associates, is it? Unless you're very affected and weird. They're already embroiled in this scandal with her son. This is her eldest son, so I'm assuming because I don't know, that he would be in line for the throne of Norway after his father, because his father's the future king, right? Well, he's going to trial for rape. He's the eldest son, and he's going to trial for rape. That trial is about to begin, and yet he's obviously not awaiting trial behind bars because this past weekend he's been arrested for threatening a woman with a knife in Oslo and breaching a restraining order. So this is somebody who had a restraining order on him already. This guy needs to be locked up. So now he is behind bars until his trial goes ahead in about a month's time. Thank the Lord, because this guy sounds dangerous. This guy sounds unhinged. I'm reading it. It says his arrest comes on the eve of trial. Cops confirmed to you, this is from Radar Online. Cops confirmed he'll remain in custody for 4 weeks after judges at the Oslo District Court ruled that he's a significant risk to reoffend. You think? The arrest comes on the eve of a trial in which he's already facing 38 charges. This is what's happening in Western countries. How can you be facing 38 charges, many of violent crime, 4 counts of rape, sexual molestation, bodily harm, narcotics offenses, and still be out in the world just waiting for your trial to start? I don't agree with this. 38 charges? You think, like, all different charges like that? Violence, drugs, intimidation. You don't think he might have a propensity to break the law? You don't think he might have a propensity to reoffend? Anyway, now he's locked up. And now his mother's been called twisted by one of the most evil, twisted people ever to come out of society, Epstein. Epstein called this guy's mother twisted. Apple tree, I don't know, are they all twisted? What's going on in Norway? What is going on in Norway? I'm going to have to look into this royal family a little more. And in other news, the only thing I can report about Meghan Markle this week, everybody's having a laugh at her recent advertisement for her products that she's offering for Valentine's Day, because unfortunately it does look like somebody went to work in Canva for about 15 minutes, overused the remove background function, threw together a graphic, and that's it. They're saying Meghan had to do it herself because the company, being in financial trouble, had to have massive layoffs, and was commented by somebody on Twitter that perhaps already her commitment and passion for the As Ever project is dead. Here's what the ad looks like. Tell me what you think about it. I think it looks incredibly basic. I've seen better advertisements from people on Etsy or people selling cosmetics from their house. You can easily stage beautiful photos and use your iPhone rather than this Canva mess, but people are just saying it's amateurish. And it is. It's embarrassing. Come on. I really hope she didn't hire somebody to do that. Let's pivot and talk about something nice. We can confirm that the Prince and Princess of Wales have a new puppy, about 8 months old, Cocker Spaniel. Princess Catherine was discussing it as she was touring Wales and the textile industry in Wales. She apparently lit up when she saw a Cocker Spaniel, and she was in discussion about how they have their dog Orla, and now they have a new puppy. Well done. It's speculated that it may be one of the puppies of Orla, the dog that they already had, because that dog did have puppies last year. Now, I'm going to talk about something nice, but it's going to segue into something that I've been noticing. If you didn't know, there's a brand new Archbishop of Canterbury, and it's a lady. The new Archbishop is Sarah Mullally. She was confirmed at the end of January, and yesterday she met with King Charles at Buckingham Palace, where she made an oath to acknowledge that King Charles is the Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Archbishop Sarah said, and I quote, "It was a privilege to pay homage to His Majesty the King of Buckingham Palace. I give thanks for His Majesty's deep Christian faith demonstrated in his life of service to our nation and Commonwealth. I was conscious today of having paid homage to the King's late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, when I became Bishop of London. I am grateful for his support of the Church of England as I now begin this new ministry as Archbishop of Canterbury." I was not a fan of the last Archbishop of Canterbury, so we'll see how Archbishop Sarah does. The thing is, she was accompanied by, it's customary apparently, that the Archbishop is accompanied to meet with the reigning monarch, defender of the faith. It's customary that when that happens, they're accompanied by the Lord Chancellor and the Clerk of the Closet, which she was. So this is not just a chance meeting or a suggested meeting. This is a traditional ritual almost. So this would have been planned. And yet again, the Prince and Princess of Wales were not in attendance. Why didn't they just go to Buckingham Palace? Because today, this happened yesterday, February 4th. Today, the Prince and Princess of Wales met with her at her place. The official residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury is Lambeth Palace, and the Prince and Princess of Wales arrived there today to meet and greet with the new Archbishop. This is the second time in just a couple of weeks that there has been an important event with King Charles, and the Prince and Princess of Wales have not attended. The first instance, it was King Charles was screening his documentary at Windsor Castle. There was a lot of celebrities there. And the general commentary, if any of it was official or non-official, kind of off the cuff palace chatter, was that they wanted it to be about King Charles because it was the documentary about his life, and they didn't want the Prince and Princess of Wales to take up the attention. But now it's a second thing. Why the two different occasions? Why does this woman have to do two different occasions? Unless it's a really solemn occasion when she's acknowledging that the king is the supreme head. But then they could have easily had a small reception afterwards, even for 20 minutes, in the next room with the Prince and Princess of Wales, right? You could have done that. They could have had a tea party. It could have all been planned. But again, we see the Prince and Princess of Wales avoiding King Charles, and to make a special trip today when she was already there yesterday seems really intentional. Seems to be like they are intentionally avoiding being in company with the king. And there's lots of speculation about, well, there's not lots of speculation. I mean, what else could it be about? Prince William doesn't like the fact that King Charles is being soft with regards to Harry. And I get it, it's his son. He loves both of them. But Prince William is like decisive. No, that book he did, the documentary he did, the interview with Oprah he did. Bad, 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 bad. And Prince William isn't forgetting. King Charles is thinking like a dad and not a monarch. He's thinking like a family and forgetting that this is an institution as well. Long-term vision. You gotta have long-term vision. And Prince William has that, and I don't think he's ready to forgive. It's widely known that nobody in the royal family trusts Harry as far as they can throw him. And that goes without saying. Who would at this point? Who would? I just think that King Charles has to really toughen up when it comes to his wayward son trying to get back in. I'm going to tell you what. Prince Harry trying to get back in is not because he's sad or he misses his family. I don't believe that for a minute. I believe it's all brand positioning. Meghan and Harry just are not interesting. The only thing that makes Harry and Meghan any kind of brand is their proximity to the royal family, the British royal family. So without that, as we've seen, they have nothing to offer as far as talent. The only things that have proven to be successful for this couple had to do with them talking about their life with the royal family, good or bad. The Oprah interview, the documentary that they did, that did very well on Netflix. Why? Because they were talking about the royal family and their proximity to and position in the royal family. The cooking show, Netflix, flop, complete and utter flop. Netflix knows it. They're done. But that just goes to show you, people tuned into the documentary to hear about the royal family. People didn't tune in to see or listen to Meghan Markle, which is why when we have this cooking show, we have Meghan Markle, and I'm sorry, she was so inauthentic through the whole thing. Like, girl, just kind of be yourself. Learn how to laugh at yourself and be fun and funny. That's all she had to do, and she couldn't show up like that. It was It's so frustrating to watch. But that was a flop because people aren't joining up to watch just Meghan. So with this whole business of all this reporting in the mainstream media and other outlets that Prince Harry wants to come back to the United Kingdom, bring his family to the United Kingdom, be with his family again, I honestly don't think it has anything to do with familial affection or he's missing home or his father or his brother or that wants his kids to be with their cousins, whatever. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's all brand positioning, and I think it's for marketing purposes only. And I don't think you can trust them, and it's been reported. Nobody in the royal family does anyway. I'd like to see him have just 20 minutes with Anne. Give Anne 20 minutes to say her piece. Please. I would love to be a fly on the wall. Harkles can't come back. No, nobody trusts them. Andrew and his whole brood have to go. Zara Tyndall, Lady Louise, you're on deck. Get those titles, get to work. I really just want Prince William and the King to be on each other's side. The King needs to realize, like, they have to be seen at events together. They have to mend fences. Whatever they're arguing about, they have to fix it because it's getting ridiculous. So that's all I got today. Bring in Zara, bring in Lady Louise. Let's pretty up this royal family. We want it to be a slimmed down monarchy, but we don't want it to be skeletal. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're hearing, like the video and hit subscribe. It really helps the channel.